about the hype.
Hey man, tell her if you spend your money.
Hey, talk that shit. Let him get money too.
I'm a pass though. Dude, you gotta be a little taller, baby, because I feel like I'm gonna run you. Like, excuse me. I feel like I would run you. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, big dog shit over here. I'm a pass. You a little too short.
Bro, cut me some slack. Pick somebody else trees.
I'm not worried about that. God, my bank account.
I don't care about the bank account. You don't know what's going on over here.
You already know what the fuck going on. I ain't gotta say nothing.
Pass, you ain't gonna hide. You get a pass because he's short as fuck.
What's up guys, Sean the Don here. If you're new, give me the HBO special, Help a Brother Out special. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Today we're going to be talking about women and their height preferences. If you are not genetically blessed in the height department or easily triggered, you might want to click off this video. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Looking at this graph, this shows the acceptance rates of women of potential male partners based on male height solely. So let's see where the curve starts to pick up at 64 inches, which is 5'4", you have a 90% chance of being rejected. And at 66 inches, which is 5'6", you have a 75% chance of being rejected. And at the top at 72 inches, which is around 6 feet, you have a, looks like 5% chance of being rejected based off height solely alone. Now, if we take a look at this in the US population, about 14.5% of all men are 6 feet and over. So basically, off this graph, only 14.5% of men are over 6 feet, but a woman will only reject them 5% of the time based solely off of height. Now going back to this chart, I want you to take a close look. Even all the way up to 84 inches, which is around 7 feet tall and up, you still have a better chance than a guy who is 5'6", it seems like. This is basically because once you get so tall, you become a lanky most likely, or kind of awkward unless you grow into your body really well. I can speak on this from personal experience as I'm around 6'4". And most women usually come up to me because of my height when I was younger. Didn't really realize this until later in life, but I would say my height has given me certain advantages that most of the men who are shorter will not get in life, but it's the way life is sometimes. But this is to say, height is not the end all be all. It's more of a thing to get your foot in the door. As I still know shorter guys who still pull a lot of women, but you have to put in the extra work to get to that certain spot. Now we're going to look at this graph of heightism, research in different aspects, and what you can do. According to this, Fortune 500 CEO heights were on average 6 feet tall, which is 2.5 inches taller than the average American man. Also, being 6 foot tall raises annual income nearly $1,000 more compared to men 2 inches shorter. Now onto sexual attractiveness. Out of 720 couples, only one was comprised of a taller woman and a shorter man. Height is seen as a masculine characteristic. Taller men might have been seen as more dominant. Now, when you think of a masculine or dominant trait from the eyes of a female perspective, we think of a taller guy that kind of shadows over her. Usually women tend to date men who they see as more of a father figure in any type of way. Now, when they imagine their father, you usually think of a tall, strong man if they come from a two-parent household or have a relationship with their parents. So I can see where this is coming from. Another reason why women prefer taller men is a form of protection, as you would most likely think a taller guy will be able to protect you better off than a shorter guy. The next stat is happiness, as individuals who are above average height have higher levels of happiness. Taller people report more enjoyment out of life in sadness. I would probably relate this to the sexual marketplace and dominant traits, as taller men tend to be seen as more dominant and treated with more respect, as I would think. So I could probably see where this comes from. The next one is politics. Between the year 1904 and 1987, In the United States, out of all the elected presidents, only 2 of them were shorter than the average height. I also noticed this as a common trend, as most presidents tend to be on the taller side. This could be due to many reasons. I would say more dominance and respect by other men would be a main reason for this, as taller men are usually more respected based off height alone and are usually promoted more over a shorter counterpart when height is a given factor. The last one being marriage. By the age of 34, shorter men are less likely to be married and have children. Taller men were more likely to have at least one biological child compared to shorter men. This could be because women prefer taller men, as stated earlier, through, let's say, biology and social construct, as biology-wise they are sought after taller, more dominant men for protection of them and their children, and through the current way, as women think, they all want a man who's over 6 feet for some reason. Now, given all this info, I would say there's a double standard. Women are more open to humiliating shorter guys, as they're usually not checked for it, but as soon as a guy says they'd rather not have a fat woman, they're called fatphobic. And if they made the same jokes as most women do for shorter men, they would be ridiculed very fast. I feel like the terms bigot, fatphobic, and all these other terms people use nowadays are made up so men do not get the same standards as women. Because nowadays most women want men to have no standards and accept them for who they are, but on the flip side, they want a tall man who makes tons of money and who would not cheat on them. But hey, who am I to say that's wrong, as I do think it's wrong, but you know. Another interesting statistic I found out was by the age of 30% of men will be virgins. Now, this could be for many reasons, but I feel like this is due to women's standards becoming increasingly higher by the day, as their options are usually unlimited, regardless of weight, height. They feel like they deserve the best men, but what they do not get is that the men that are usually coming to them are not looking for a long-term relationship, but just to smash and then go on to the next girl. But so often they confuse this as a man who wants to be with them for long-term and stick around. Another thing is, I think the numbers are 1 in 4 women are on antidepressants nowadays. And this is also pretty weird, as most women are not happy with themselves, but will openly disrespect the man to further boost their ego and make them feel good about themselves and gain sexual or just emotional attention from men and use them for that. Also, in today's economy, single mothers are the poorest demographic there is. Back in the day, this would have been a death sentence, but now they have welfare and other programs to subsidize them for money. They're not really looking at long-term consequences of becoming a single mother. And even these single mothers have higher standards, but usually at the end of the day, they're usually not going to be remarried unless some simp comes along and marries them. But guys, I do not recommend that. If you're going to marry a chick, I would put her for around at least 2 years. And make sure she is a single mother, because you do not want to raise another man's kid, as you do not gain the respect from the kid or the mother when it comes to that child. Now, if you are a short man in the year of 2021 or 2022, when you see this video, focus on the things you can change. Some things you can change is your physical appearance. There's no reason to be fat nowadays. Gyms are easily accessible. You can go for walks just about anywhere. Even if you live in a bad neighborhood, just go walking around your apartment if you have to. Just get moving. 2, you need to have ambition. What are you doing every day to further improve yourself? If you're just at home smoking weed, playing COD all day, you're not doing anything to improve yourself. So you shouldn't expect women to come to you when you're not even forthcoming to. Also, how much money do you make? Are you doing everything in your power to make as much money as possible? Now, do not focus on doing these things to attain women, because the women will come once you become a successful man. Alright guys, it's been your boy Sean the Don. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back tomorrow for more videos.